Welcome back to Tier Lists. Today, I am joined by one of the best Marvel Snap players in the world, Gamer, to help rank every single Series 5 card in Marvel Snap and inform you on some purchasing decisions for them. Gamer, let's introduce yourself. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me, man. For those who don't know, I'm Gamer. I've been a top level Infinite player for a little over a year now. Most notable thing I've done recently is got top four in World, so Marvel Snap's official World Championship. I got top four on Super Giant, my own build. And yeah, in terms of just decks I like, as you guys know, Smlz here is a negative one trick. You may be hearing that later on as we keep going. I personally like a lot of mid-range interactive kind of style decks. Super Giant has been a favorite for a very long time. And just general cards like Cosmo, Negasonic, Scarlet Witch, some of my favorites off the top of my head. As well as just some bounce stuff as well, depending on my mood. But mostly mid-range interactive piles is
See, this is
some of
why I
my
think
favorite
it's a
stuff.
great idea to have you on, because I prefer more combo style decks. I prefer decks like Surfer in a sense, but a lot more combo oriented. Like I created the Jocasta Surfer stuff. That's my favorite Surfer deck. I also like playing decks like I know the one deck that we both like is like Moonstone Ongoing. Like I enjoy that deck. I know you enjoy that deck, but I also play stuff like Nimrod. I play stuff like negative adjacent builds. I don't like normal negative. I like negative adjacent stuff like Pixie Core. That's amazing. But just that kind of stuff, I prefer more like scammy decks or more general combo game plan focused decks as opposed to interactive decks. But with that being said,
Yeah, and
let's get to the tier list.
okay.
Adamantium Infusion. So, I'm thinking this is a strong card. What are your
Yeah, I'd
thoughts on that?
agree. I thought for a moment decent before Fastball Special, and I think if Fastball Special didn't exist, it would go in decent, but I think that card is enough support that it can easily go in strong. Alongside
Yeah,
like Kid Omega, Venom, all that stuff, of
yeah,
course.
it's a four cost double basically for those decks, and those decks play a lot of cards that really like that double. Nimrod, BP, all that stuff. Now let's talk about Agamotto. This is a little bit of a
Mhm.
complex one, I think. I am leaning towards a decent card because I don't think it's a strong card, but it's definitely better than like a straight up mid kind of bad card.
Yeah. As much as I love the card, I do have to agree it's decent. The problem with it is just deck consistency. There are just going to be games where you just completely brick and you just draw the worst stuff because your deck is 16 cards versus the standard 12. I do love Akamoto. I was thinking in my mind, oh, I want this to be strong, but it's just decent. It's just all right.
Yeah.
Wish it was stronger.
Agamotto is one of my favorite designs in the game in the sense that every single one of his skills and himself is above like that base level stat line, but it's just at the cost of consistency. Like 1-3 draw one is better than a 1 drop. 2-5 with disruption better than an average 2 drop. A 3 drop that gives you 4 energy. That's pretty evidently better than a 3. And then the 4 cost spell, arguably the best thing that costs 4 in the entire game. It's a really strong card, but it's an inconsistent card. I think it has to go in decent, especially because they really hammered those good card piles into the ground this year. Agent Venom. I know you like Agent Venom, but I gotta put him in mediocre.
Yeah.
I gotta.
Hmm. I think I agree. The biggest thing was the Havoc nerf. I
Yes.
wish they would revert the Havoc nerf already, man. Like it's every time I've tried to go back to that small soldiers deck of like Thena, Kitty Pride, all that stuff, it just
Yeah.
feels so bad with the current version of Havoc. Like,
It's just not
why,
big enough.
why? Like the only thing he's getting is like the Pixie Gore thing right now, and you can play him in bounce, and I think he has a home there depending on how you build, but it's just not necessary enough to the point where you can call it decent. It's just
Yeah.
not great.
This guy could probably be a 2-6, but you can't revert him back to what his old state was. That was broken.
The old stats, no, get that out. That's too
I
dumb.
think the same fate befalls Ajax. He's just too slow now. 5-7, especially in a world where now Cerebro is a real deck, so a decent amount of your matchups will be instant lose. 5-7 is just too slow.
I agree with that concept. I think I would be willing to bump him up to decent because it's the deck that's bad. Ajax carries the deck, and if the deck was good, he would be strong. Because the
See,
deck's not
see,
great,
I don't know if Ajax carries the deck.
I think he does.
I think
Like,
cards
off.
like
You remember when Ajax would just win the lane, and like
he doesn't do.
nothing
The
else
thing
could
is,
happen. He was just
when
always winning the
Ajax
lane.
can't solo a lane anymore,
That's fair.
that's a problem. When this guy can't just completely solo his own lane. Like, let's look at a card like Diamondback and compare it to Ajax. Ajax, on average, is in and around like a 518. For example, you think that's fair? 518?
I think so. It depends on if your Afflict deck runs Luke, which I think people do too much, run Luke in their own
Yes.
Afflict decks.
So,
But yeah, I think that's fair.
let's say 518. Diamondback is pretty much just a 311. I'd rather play a 311 than a 518. And I think it's a stronger card. Especially because
can
that's
see
a card
that.
that can be pulled with Malekith. Especially because that's a card that can just has a lot less investment at 3 than a card does at 5. So I think I would like Diamondback will come up. I think Diamondback's the decent card in this package. The Affliction. I think Ajax is a worse card for the sole fact that he doesn't solo his lane anymore because we've got so much power creep. Entering the year, or even when Diamondback released, Ajax was the far superior card because you could just win a lane. But context matters, and we're in a metagame context right now where 18 and on high rolls like 22, that might be enough to win the weak lane. In an Affliction, your Ajax lane is your strong lane.
Yeah, I can
That's
agree
a
with him being
problem.
mediocre. I think it is still good to point out that you can convince your opponent to abandon the lane when they probably shouldn't. But yeah, I think I can. I think he's fine at mediocre. Though it's definitely like closer than Agent Venom, I would say.
Yes.
Like I don't know if you're going to order these within the
No,
tiers, but
I don't know
if
if
you
I'm
are,
ordering the
Agent.
tiers. That seems like we're going to get into a lot of semantics then. We got a lot of
Maybe in
cards
must
to get through.
buys.
I think we have this is the most populated series in the game now. So we got a lot of cards. Alliance.
Oof, this is a hot. Maybe a hot take. I think mediocre.
I was
I don't think
leaning.
he's
I
that good
was.
anymore.
I'm really. I think it's on the line.
It's so close.
I just. The thing is, it's such a good effect. It's so good. Can it? The question.
When was the last time you saw it?
This is a funny story.
Like
I saw it in Moon Girl V Hand today.
Okay. Was it Iron Patriot card or
No, it wasn't. They were running Alliance.
Oh,
in
they
their deck.
protected. What the heck?
Yeah, I lost to it. They
Look.
blew up my Carnage.
Well, should have played around it.
Should have.
Yeah, it's definitely really close. I think my argument for Eliathan mediocre is that what deck actually wants him? Like Arisham is the deck that normally is auto include. Arisham doesn't even want him that much.
Yeah, I think you give me Ajax a mediocre. I'll give you Eliathan mediocre. I think that's fair. The Ancient One. I think this is a very clear decent for me.
Yeah, I don't think there's much else to argue. I think people build ancient decks wrong. Oftentimes, I feel like they focus on
100%
ongoing
agree.
cards.
They stuff it with ongoing
Yeah.
cards. I'll give you guys the
I think
secret here to Ancient One decks. You want 2 targets in your deck. No more, no less. You can run extra ongoings. You can run like 1 or 2 extra. You want 2 targets. That's it. Otherwise, you're doing too much with it. Another PSA to everybody watching this video is if you want to play Zoo, you should be running Ancient One in the only decent Zoo build. Gilgamesh Zoo, terrible. Ancient One Zoo, it can run actual tech cards that interact with your opponent, and it's a really sneaky pick if you want to try to climb. I think this card...
Gilgamesh is good, but yeah, this is...
Yeah, I think this
agree
card
with
is
all that.
I think this card is heavily underrated as well. Anti-Venom. So Anti-Venom's seen a bit of a resurgence recently in a lot of mid-range Aurora tech piles. What do you think on Anti-Venom?
So I think it needs to be brought up that one big plus for Anti-Venom is a lot of hidden info, right? It's a card that you can just be like, oh, I drew a 0-cost Gore. I just get to hold this for 6, and then you probably just lose. And then there will be like that other % of games where it's just like, dang, this hit my I don't know, one drop that's not impactful. I think because of still those potential high rolls, I honestly think he's good and strong.
I
I think the high rolls
agree.
of Hidden Infinite are enough to put him in strong.
I agree. I think he's a strong card. I think it's hidden info. He helps out energy curves a lot. Those like the curves that aren't high enough to justify ramp cards, but are kind of a little bit too high to just normally curve out. Those kind of curves, Anti Venom loves those. It's a decent body as well. 4/7's just good, and all that stuff. I think there's a lot of good contributing factors to Anti Venom being a strong
You also
card.
get to just justify Shadow King if you want, so
Correct.
it's another plus.
And I think the same can be said for Aranya in strong.
Yeah, I don't
This
think
is
much debate is needed.
a quick little aside here. I love this card in Nimrod. I think it's optimal. If you're playing at high levels, it allows for so much fake outs, so much more variance on your turns. Allows you to actually meaningfully run Arnim Zola in the deck. I like this card in that deck. I think it's really good. And I think this is my... A lot of people that watch this are familiar with KM Best, and he loves Ghost Spider in decks. Aranya is my Ghost Spider. You can activate it whenever. It's not awkward on curve at all, because oftentimes you aren't playing a one-on-one anyways. It's a really cool card. You don't know when they're going to activate it. You can bait people into thinking you're a move deck. All that stuff. I really like this card.
Yeah, fair for sure.
I don't think we have to say much about our next card on the list, Ares.
Part of me wants to say mediocre.
The problem
just because I do want to make the
Ares,
point is he's bigger than the other 410s.
the
but
problem
I think I
is
have
that
to
when
agree.
you miss on some other cards, like say you miss on Gladiator. A lot of Gladiator decks run Shang. And although Gladiator is very bad to have miss, you can recover. I think I can count on one hand. I actually played quite a bit of Ares when he came out. I think I can count on one hand the amount of times I won a game when Ares missed. It's so hard to recover.
Yeah.
And you're also giving the opponent a ton of info on draws.
Yeah, that was a cool thing when this card came out that I'm sure a lot of lower level players don't really care about is just the number giving info on cards at the top of their deck. But yeah, that's a good point. When you whiff, that is like one of the worst cards in the game to whiff on, and that's what makes it so bad. Like again, part of me would say like, oh, it's mediocre because it's like better than like the 410s when it hits, like 412 to 410. That's not bad, but
good.
it's not like compelling enough to want to build with.
Now, you might call me crazy, but when we're talking about Series 5 cards in Marvel Snap, from the context of a buyer's guide, this next guy, Arishem, is a must-buy. He unlocks the deck by himself. When we're talking about him in the context of cards, I think he's strong. However, since the tier is called must buy, I'm inclined to put Arishem in the top tier.
Yeah, I might be one of the few people, though, as much as I hate Arsham, I partially have to agree at least. I think if we're ranking, like, the cards, I think he does go in strong. Like, it's either strong card or must buy. I think that's a given.
Yeah, he's better. He's a strong, very strong card.
Yeah. The argument to put it out of must buy, and I'm not really sticking to this too much, is that you want a lot of other Series 5 cards to make the best build of the deck, but you don't really need to do that, which is why I'm not sticking with that argument that much. But I think I agree. As much as I don't like it.
As our first must-buy card. So if you're listening and you don't have Arishem, you should probably buy him. As much as we hate playing against him. Aurora was better than I thought. I still think it's only decent. I think it's like maybe going to be the highest in decent, but I don't think it's. I think it's a decent card, not a strong card.
Yeah. As like just a mid-range player, the hardest thing for 6 costs is that any deck they're played in, they're just bound to be predictable, which means if you're good enough, you can just do the math and you can just be like, oh, I beat this, or oh, I lose, I'd leave. That's what's always going to hold it back unless it gives an insane amount more stats. Like it just gives solid stats. Like it's respectable amount. But I think that's what right now can't have it higher than decent.
All right. I don't think we need to talk more about Zemo. He's pretty bad. Yeah. Sorry to all the
Don't
Mill
play
players.
Mill, guys. It's not good.
It's not good. Mill. I know one person who loves Mill.
I think I know as well.
Yeah.
Are we thinking of the same person?
Probably. If you're watching this, person who loves Mill, I'm sorry, but unfortunately he is a bad card. Bastion.
I might have a hot take about this.
What's your hot take?
I think he's just mediocre.
Really? I was going to say he's decent.
I'm fine with decent. The problem I have with Bastion is you want to do two things. One, you put him in C3, but you don't really need him in C3. Like that's what allows you to go super tall. The other thing is, I will actually give you, in case you're going to say, people should try and experiment with him more. I think he's a very interesting design and card in general. But a 4/3 is really annoying to play.
4/3 sucks.
I don't like 4/3
but
at all.
2/3 Moonstone and Captain Carter is really nice.
It is pretty good.
So,
again, that's the big thing for decent.
The thing that makes me put it in decent is that if you run Bastion ongoing and you run Mobius in that list, and you Bastion a Sam Shield, you get a 0/3. That's an ongoing that you can play. And then if you play it before 5, you can move it.
Yeah. And that's great, but I'm biased against Mobius, so.
I think it's very strong. I think it's underrated and underexplored a strong amount of strong and ongoing. And I also think since he came out, he's been in every C3 list. Except the Thanos one, which is a gimmick deck in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm totally fine leaving it up to you. Card. I think I'm okay with decent. I would probably be mediocre.
But I think it's a decent card. Black Swan is a bad card. Do you have any gripes or beef with that statement?
I don't think it's the same level of the ones we've put in bad already. I could see some more bad cards coming up, and I think Black Swan could be a little above those. I think if it is mediocre, it's like the bottom of it. I think there's ways you can justify.
Ares is better than this card. I think Ares has decks. I don't think this card is a deck.
I think people are just not willing to build for it, which obviously fine. It's not super worth doing it.
All right.
Yeah, it's not good for sure.
One of my favorite cards, Blink. Now, bias says me put this in must buy because I love this card and I think it's awesome. My brain tells me this is at near the top of strong. This is not a must buy. What do you think?
I think as much as it would be cool to have in must buy, I think it has to be strong. The thing that I think keeps it from must buy is it won't appeal to all players.
Correct.
I think it's cool as well. If I play a ramp deck or something with Blink, I'll have fun with it, but
I think
it doesn't. Yeah.
I agree. I think we're going to talk about this similar with another card coming up very soon as well. In the sense that this is a extremely key engine piece for what you can reasonably argue is the best deck in the game. I don't think you need to buy it, though. I don't think this is a must-buy. I think this is a good card. I don't think this is a must-have card. And that's where really you draw the difference. I think all players should have Arishem in their collection.
Yeah,
just because of how powerful it is in some formats, and especially new players.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Moving on, Bullseye. I actually think Bruce is the best in bad card, but it's funny.
I think so too. I think he could reasonably go in high Evo.
He could reasonably go in high Evo, but unfortunately, I think bad card is. I think he is a bad card.
Yeah, I don't think people have question.
Bullseye. And this is interesting. Because I would have put him in, because when he came out, and for the first, let's say, 6 months of the year, this guy was in strong, no questions asked. But since they started making all the changes, starting in the Androids Assemble season, this guy has gotten further and further down. And I don't remember the last time I saw Bullseye docking in a non-all-in deck. Like, I don't remember the last time I saw Bullseye discard.
Yeah, that deck's just not real anymore. It's crazy.
It's just not enough points.
Yeah, like, the only reason you run Bullseye now is if you're a deck.
If you're the all-in docking deck. And by all-in,
Yeah.
I mean, like, you're making 2 Dockins of 100 plus power.
Yeah. And I think that's what I would call deck and deck. If you're running, like, the Scorn Blade Swarm thing,
Swarm
I would call that Bullseye discard if I had to classify it as an archetype to distinguish from just normal discard. But yeah, like, just full out deck and stuff is the only thing that goes in, which I think is underrated, but I don't know if that's enough to put it in decent.
That's the thing. I hate that deck.
Yeah,
I think this card is a decent card.
Yeah, I can't honestly argue between decent and mediocre. Both would seem totally correct to me. So
I think the power of that all-in Dockin deck being so reliant on Bullseye makes him decent. He only has 1 deck, so I can't really classify him as strong. Like, all these cards, like Adamantium goes in both, like, Zombie, Phoenix Force, and Nimrod. Antivenom goes in a ton of mid-range piles. Aranya goes in Move and a ton of other stuff that wants to, like, juke and scam. Blink goes in the normal ramp deck. It goes in other ramp decks. It goes in pretty much everything that's trying to ramp or get extra energy somehow. These guys are more like the either A, I have 1 deck that's strong, or B, I'm just a decent card everywhere. I think Bullseye fits that mold.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's any world that goes back to strong
Kyra
in a
and
while.
bad. No questions
Or
asked.
Kyra.
Rework this
Quick
card.
thing about Kyra, not for tier list. What do you think of its text being no cards can be destroyed? Both yours and your opponent's. Like, obviously stats would need to change, but like just as a tech for destroy.
Just as a full
And then
tech
maybe
for
change
destroy.
armor to something else. I don't know.
Look, I think it's a fine card to print. I think so many players would quit the game. So
That is probably fair.
I think
Me
it's
just
bad.
being mid-range brain.
I think it's a bad financial decision.
That is
Captain Carter. It's at least strong. I don't think it's a must-buy, though. I think it's strong.
I don't think so either. I'm thinking of some cards we'll get to later that I don't think Captain Carter's on the same level of.
Particular that I think is a must-buy. But I think you might be thinking of the same one.
We'll see, yeah. But yeah, strong, I don't
very
think.
Good. One of the best
question.
3 costs in the game. Great card. Cass. I think sadly he's mediocre.
Oh, no, fully agree. I wish he was better.
I love
He's
Cass. To
good.
start this year, I played Cass Absman, and it was awesome. I never wanted to queue into Erisham more. But sadly, it's just a mediocre card now.
How
the mighty have fallen.
I think it could get its 1 power back, but that might not be, like...
I think it's
they're
enough.
just never going to do that,
I think it's enough to get her back in some decks, but not all.
Yeah.
Chamber is the card I was talking about when we talked about Blink. It's a strong card. It's not a must-buy.
Yeah.
This is the next one I think is in contention for must-buy. Cosmic Ghost Rider. Since this guy has released, he has been one of the 5 best tech cards in the game. He got nerfed to a 5/6. 5/6 is horrible, by the way. Those are terrible stats. Those are unplayable stats on almost any other card. Like, Infinity Ultron, one of my favorite cards. I don't play him that much anymore because I just can't justify it because his 5/6 sucks so bad. That being said, this guy has still seen a ton of play, which I think justifies how strong this card is. How this card shuts down. How this card is the best Activate counter in a world where Activate is probably, in my opinion, one of the 5 best decks in the game. I think this guy's a must-buy. I think he's the premier 5-cost deck card. And I think it's been enough time now that we can say, yes, this guy is the premier 5-cost tech card. If you have a open 5-cost slot in your deck, you should be running this guy.
Yeah, I agree with must buy. I think it's important to note as well, like, if you're playing a ramp deck, I think he should probably go in it, and it has to be a very specific reason or metagame where you don't. But also that there are some other decks other than ramp that can justify him. I think if he didn't get played outside of ramp, he'd be strong card, but the fact that it is possible to justify him outside of ramp as well puts him in a must buy.
Clea. Mediocre. I think this is the most obvious mediocre yet.
Yeah, I feel like I would love Clea if it was better, but I could not be bothered.
I think what you gotta do is you gotta make I would let me know in the comments what you think of this change. But what if Clea was a 1-1? So it starts off below curve 1-1, or not 1-1, 2-1. So it's not even a 1 cost anymore. But the spells are 0 cost and afflict for -2. So we're flipping the card stats. We're making her a 2-1 that has 0 cost spells.
I feel like that's just like too safe of a change. As cool as it would be to see, I feel like they could go bigger with that.
The other thing is that at 2 cost, there's a lot more levers to pull with the power as well. You could make the spells -3 and free. You could make her a 2-2. You can make her a 2-3. I think that as a 1 cost, there's only a certain amount of flexibility you can have.
Yeah. The problem with 2 cost, like you said, 2 cost bodies, 0 cost spells, is like you're going to have people complaining that they can't play Marvel Boy and Hakeem anymore, so you got to find a solution for that, but I don't know.
It's definitely weird. Maybe do a Prowler thing where the spell, say if you played one last turn, it costs 0.
Yeah. Don't mind that idea. Cool.
Something like that.
And it's still treated as a 1 cost card overall.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments what you think of those 2 Clea change suggestions. And next up, Colonel America. What do you think here?
I think he's decent.
I agree.
I don't think there's much more to be said. He can go in like discard decks, and he won't solo his lane all the time, but he will put up a reasonable amount of stats where you're like, can I contest this, or do I just lose?
He big. That's about all I gotta say. Copycat is a strong card, in my opinion. I think it's one of the most underplayed cards in the game.
I personally would put it in must buy. Again, mid-ranged bias here.
I love Copycat, but I don't know.
The thing I love about Copycat is, well, against some bias here, that's my Iron Patriot lane winner. Like, if I'm like, I need a 3-drop that wins the Iron Patriot lane, I'm just going to run Copycat for free. And Iron Patriot is also another strong card we'll get to later. Maybe there's the argument where IP is the must-buy and Copycat's strong card. Maybe you think they're both strong cards.
You're getting ahead of me here. I agree, but you're getting ahead of me.
I'm fine with a strong card. It's probably just my bias of the decks. I like that it goes in must-buy, but I'm fine with it in a strong card.
Yeah.
That might just
I am also a very big Copycat fan. When she came out, I didn't expect to like the card. I loved it. I loved it so much, I spent an extra 6,000 tokens getting her like Pandart Spotlight variant because I thought it was sick. Split it gold like immediately and played her in like every deck. Awesome card. Sadly, I find myself including her in less decks in a combo-oriented meta. I actually think she's one of the lower ones in Strong, unfortunately. But love this card. Such a fun
card. For sure.
And we already talked about this earlier, but Diamondback and decent.
Yeah, I think, nothing else really needs to be said.
Doom 2099.
We love disrespecting Doom 2099.
Yeah. Don't buy that card. You will regret it. It is a waste
energy.
Dormammu. Now this is an interesting one. This guy's been buffed so many times that the most recent buff hasn't even made it on here yet. So 713 now. I'm not gonna lie, this guy's top of decent for me.
Yeah, I'm not sure where in decent, but I think decent is also where my mind immediately went to. I don't think you can realistically argue strong or mediocre just because of, like, this deck will be worse sometimes than just, like, the standard destroy, but it's not like It's not like you're going against Dormammu and you're like, oh, this will be pretty easy. Like, it's like a respectable deck.
I think one
Not
more
much more than
point of
that.
power on this guy makes him strong. I think he's close to it. If they want to make Dormammu a strong card, they're close to it. I mean, like, this guy has gone through so many changes. Because he was a 7/11 unreleased with a 3-cost final spell. They nerfed it. They reworked really a buff, but it was a very small buff at that point. They cut his power to 7/10, and they made the last spell cost 1 or 2. Then they buffed him by 1 power. Then they buffed him by another power. And now they buffed him by another power. And now he's only starting to see legitimate play. I think a little bit more could be used. So this guy is like, okay, this is a really big threat. Because then it becomes the point of, like, this guy's always 20 plus. But yeah, I think this card, I'm happy they're taking a direction they are with him. Because it is a cool card to make good. Elixir is bad. In my opinion.
It's been the strangest card for me to look at and be like, well, this is a combo card. You can like do Nimrod and Phoenix Force stuff. I'm never going to test that, but I don't see how it's that good.
He's bad in Nimrod. I'm the Nimrod player. I play probably more Nimrod than anyone in Top Infinite because I enjoy combo. And although Nimrod can be boring, it's a great multitask deck. I think Elixir sadly is in bad. He was in mediocre, and Adamantium just ate this guy's lunch.
Yeah, I could not be bothered to invest building for it, but yeah, it doesn't seem.
It's in the Jet deck, but also like 2 people know how to play that deck. So, yeah. Esme. Mediocre, probably.
Does it go in negative? This needs to be brought up.
Okay. If you are in a meta where your build of negative can go reasonably taller than everything else, assuming you already accounted for the other stuff like your tech cards, Esme goes in negative. If you still need to beat something, Esme does not go in negative. That being said, she has other decks like Timu negative that she definitely goes in. So I gotta put her at the bottom of mediocre. Esme negative is, I think, a long debate. And the answer is a lot more complex than yes or no. There's a lot of meta context involved. But in general, if you want a one-word answer, the answer is yes.
Yeah, that sounds right. Once again, the kind of decks that I'm not really going to play, but I can't realistically see it going in bad, and mediocre
it's better
just seems
than
like
all
the
those
perfect
cards,
spot.
Isan,
sure.
My pet card for so long that I made good. I think it's mediocre though, but I brought it up.
I'm not.
I brought it up 2 whole tiers. It was gonna go with Doom, but now it's in mediocre.
Nice, well done. You can play him now.
He's playable. Sims mediocre, and we got a lot to go, so I'm gonna be a little short with some of these.
I think people underrate him a little bit, but I still think he goes in mediocre. Like, I think some people just think he's one of the worst cards. People should experiment with him a little more. I think he's better than people give him credit for, but still mediocre.
Fallen 1 mediocre.
Yeah.
He goes in one deck. That one deck is good. Other than that one deck, don't play him. About all I gotta say.
Mm-hmm.
It's the, if you're wondering, it is the one deck I believe should run Symbiote Spider-Man, which we'll get to later. It is the Fallen 1-Man Spider deck by Derek. That deck is quite good.
Yep.
Fenris Wolf is a mediocre card. Do you have anything to say?
I honestly was gonna say bad card.
I'm
you can so obviously he's
now.
like
I think
okay.
Context matters. When this guy got nerfed, following that was a very non-shangable meta. And now we're starting to see them print more cards that are shangable. Whether it be the Chamber Ramp list, whether it be Fin Fang Foom and Xiao Lao releasing next season, whether it be the Black Panther stuff you can see out of Nimrod. There is enough stuff going on now, and enough Destroy prevalent as well, that I think Fenris Wolf can be a mediocre card at 3 cost. At 2 cost, this guy was must buy.
Oh,
But
no
I think
question.
he's mediocre now.
I can see it. My brain is still telling me Badger just because of how many things compete for that 3 cost slot. It's like, what deck plays what on 3, right? Ramp deck, you play Luna or Electro, right? Negative, hopefully you're playing negative, or probably just like a Magic or something like that. But yeah, I can see, like, right now in this context, mediocre for sure. I feel like in enough others, my brain is still telling me bad card, but mediocre's fine, definitely for now.
I think he's the worst card in this tier. Like, a
Yeah.
lot of these cards are kind of, like, close to decent. This guy is the one that's close to bad, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Firehair. Mediocre. Close to decent.
You know more on the combo stuff. I was thinking decent for a little bit, but that's probably just because most people can't play the best deck she goes in.
I agree with that. Especially because this is half us telling you what cards are good, half of us telling you what cards you should buy. Like, the top of the list is really purchase decisions. If you like Move, buy Aranya. If you like buff or ongoing decks, buy Carter. You should really have Arishem and CGR in your collection. That kind of stuff.
Yeah. I think for like 99.9%, just easily mediocre. But for
Like-
like that little fraction, it can be decent.
I think below this line, you're looking at, I have a specific deck that I want to play with this card in it. That's why I'm buying it.
Right.
Everything here and up, I think, is an easily justifiable purchase.
Yeah.
Frankie Ray, I think this is the most mid card ever.
That sounds about right. I honestly can't remember the last time I saw it. It's not unplayable by any means.
It's
but
not. It's look.
yeah, it
it's
can't-
better. It's better than Shitter City down here, and it's much better than the dumpster.
Yeah, it can't go higher than mediocre though.
Frigga must buy, in my opinion.
No question. Yeah, Frigga should get a
Amazing
nerf.
card.
Man. Why is it a 3/4
Phenomenal
still?
support. This card should really be a 3/3, or honestly 3/2 is probably balanced. But yeah, this
Yeah.
card's really powerful. Getting a copy of anything is great. Copy V hand, copy. My favorite thing is in Heart of the Cards Surfer. The new one, I think it probably needs some more building to go with it. My favorite line you can do with that deck is you Frigga the Brood after you Maverick it, and it's awesome. And your backup line is playing Agony into Brood, which normally does like effectively nothing because the Broodlings are still 2 power. But then you Frigga that and you have a 5 power Brood. It's awesome.
Yeah, sounds pretty neat. But yeah, Frigga just goes in so many decks, and she feels so core in all of them.
Speaking of Surfer, Galacta's a mediocre card now.
Oh yeah, +2 instead of +3 is huge.
Devastating. Absolutely devastating change. This was arguably the best card in the game for quite a while. Now it's just
I think I would have argued #1 card in the game. Me personally, from what I remember.
You could have argued this was in the Mr. Fantastic First Steps era, so this is pretty much from the era post Sam Wilson nerf to Galacta nerf. I think you could reasonably argue she was the best card in the game.
Yeah,
But it was really
sounds
good
right.
because she was 4/5 at that point, but still +3 is great. Galactus is a mediocre card and one of the better ones in here, in my opinion. Now,
Yeah. Like, again, obviously, like, the bias of, oh, but you can do cool things, you should be decent, but, like, if we're being honest with ourselves, he's mediocre.
correct. But his First Steps counterpoint is strong.
Man, once again, bias against this card. I would say decent for a few reasons. One, so obviously he's one of the best options for just giant 6-drop. I'm not going to question that. But here are the main things, and again, this will matter more for higher level players. You get info on your opponent's hand. And I guess for some context, most recently there was like a Game Best tournament. Part of why I like Cable is you get info on what cards your opponent does not have and also does have. Knowing they have Galactus First Steps in hand is worth something if you're good enough. A lot of the times, though, it won't matter, which is why I can see it's still on strong for you.
I think it's just strong. This guy's a 618 to 620 regularly. This card is the premier 6 cost to put in your ramp decks. And in a world where Blink and Chamber are already strong cards, I think Galactus for Steps is lower than them. But I think it's a noticeable strength upgrade from all the cards in Decent.
Yeah, I'll give you that. And I think part of my bias as well is compared just looking at all the other cards in Strong, Galactus First Steps much more informs you of how you should stay or retreat, right?
Correct.
Okay, I beat Galactus First Steps in this lane. I can easily stay and win this game. I'm just dead to him here. I leave. All the other cards in Strong don't have that factor. Like, you can like play them and hold them as well, or not necessarily hold them, but have that hidden info aspect. Like even Chamber, right? Often, like you'll be like, oh, he's just big, but sometimes he's 13, and your opponent's not ready for that.
Mm-hmm. Quick aside here: what do you think is the best card in Decent? Because I don't think you're gonna guess what my pick is.
Best card in Decent. I think I would have to go with Ancient One, honestly.
I agree. I didn't think you'd agree. I think.
What do you think I would say?
What?
What would you have guessed I would say?
Agamotto.
Because the other Agamotto was the other one on my mind, but again, the inconsistency of Agamotto and the general consistency in Ancient One, I think, is what puts it over the top.
Also, can we move Colonel America to mediocre? I think he's sticking out here.
I feel like we'll have a lot of cards in mediocre, but feel free to do whatever. Like I can see him in both.
I just think he isn't as strong in that discard build as something like Diamondback is in Affliction, where I'm like, okay, kind of, I want this to play Affliction.
I'm not sold on it, but honestly, I don't really care too much about that card. Like, it looks correct in both tiers, honestly, still. But I can see it looking more correct and mediocre for a lot of people.
Gilgamesh is a bad card.
I was going to say trash for a moment, but he is still a really big guy.
He is big, but he is bad.
So I think that does keep him out of trash.
Does that make him a big bad?
He's not good.
Goliath is a strong card.
No question.
Yes. If you're playing on going by Goliath, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, right. It should probably be noted that any card in Strong Card can be treated as a must-buy if it's the Archetype you like.
Correct. If you want to play ramp decks, if you want to play, say, like for example, a lot of people play Wiccan. It's one of the most popular archetypes in the game. If you like playing Wiccan decks and you want a big guy, buy Galactus First Steps. It is a meaningful upgrade in that deck, and also it is a good helps you snap and retreat as well. Now let's talk about Gore. As a negative and Temu negative enjoyer, I think this is one of the coolest cards in the game. I think it was one of the strongest cards in the game for a lot of early 2025. But in a world now, with End of Turn, with Activate, this guy has to be decent. He is no longer strong.
Yeah, fully agree. And this is the kind of card that, as time passes, as more cards get printed, he's just naturally going to get very slightly worse. There's another card that you probably haven't thought of that will almost always just get slightly better and better as just time will naturally pass as more cards get printed, etc.
Is that
we'll get to that when we get to that card, though.
Oh.
No, like a card we haven't got to that I'm like, as more stuff gets printed and OTAs and stuff, this card's technically just getting slightly better each time.
Is it?
But more on that later. It's not that guy, actually.
Really? Okay. Gwenpool.
It might surprise you, but we'll see.
Gwenpool, decent.
Just better than Galacta, yeah.
It
not
is
much,
better Galacta. There is not much to say. It is not strong, but it is decent. Okay, Bishop. This is tricky. It is stronger must-buy.
I don't think it's must-buy anymore. I think there's more important stuff.
I agree. I think
it's sad to say. I love Kate.
It's a great card.
Yeah.
This is the same exact thing I'm going to say with Prowler, because I actually think Prowler's better, which is my hot take. But these are strong. I think Prowler is one of the most underplayed cards, by the way. I think that card is sick. These are underutilized, or in Kate's case, properly utilized. Prowler's newer, and Kate saw more pickup over time. These are cards that are strong cards that have a lot of flexibility. Kate has a move. Kate has a clog. And then there's 2 other ones. These cards are strong, but they are utility pieces. And they are not powerful enough utility pieces like CGR to be classified as must-buys.
Yeah, I agree. I think in a world where there was like... So when Kate was considered a must-buy, there were 100 less cards in the game or something like that.
Correct.
Naturally, as more cards print, Kate kind of just gets power crept. It doesn't... It's just your like solid mid-range card, right? You can get a clog, you can get a move card, but it doesn't really go super tall anywhere, and it's not just generically always the best thing.
Yeah, I put
Prowler
up
just
there
goes
too
in
because I
strong
think
too.
they're pretty. I think they are the same card. Prowler has a slightly higher cost, slightly better skills. Kate Bishop has lower cost, slightly worse stuff. I think on like the level of good, they're about the same. Headpool. I think Headpool is a decent card. You should get him if you like destroy decks. And specifically Classic Destroy. He is a large upgrade in that deck. He is not used really anywhere else. You can play him in Morgan if you want. But it's likely suboptimal, and if so, it's minor.
Yeah, Destroy's good. A lot of players aren't the best with Destroy, but Destroy, I'm not going to deny, it's a solid deck.
Mm-hmm. Herbie. Mediocre. This is my hot take.
I was thinking, is he going to put it in decent or no? Because that was my initial thought, but I'm not sure.
I have played probably more of the Activate. I have definitely played more of the Activate deck than any other top player.
Yeah. Because the argument
Awesome
for Herbie
Andy is
indecent,
a better card than Herbie. I will repeat. Ooh. Awesome Andy is a better card than Herbie. He is better.
Awesome, huh?
You should buy Andy. He is a 2/6 regularly. And also, he asks essentially nothing of you. And he doesn't care if he's played on turn 2 or turn 5. Herbie has so many more sliding scales that although on paper it is stronger, in practice it is weaker. Because if you don't get Herbie down on 2, he is a much, much, much worse card. As if you get Andy down on 4, he is the same card as if you got him down on 2. Based on the context of Snap, and also the decks that Herbie wants to be running a lot of the times are Sam decks, you should be playing Herbie on turn 2 or never. Sadly, that makes him only mediocre in my eyes. And for reference, I would have put Andy in decent if he was a Series 5 card.
Yeah, I can see that. And I think this is important for viewers as well. You have to consider, like, obviously Herbie on 2. If you could always play Herbie on 2, then that's decent. But you have to remember that
you can always play it on 2.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, strong for sure, right? But you have to remember that there will be those games where it's your top deck on 6, and it's like, well, this is garbage. Or even your top deck on 5, it's still almost garbage, right?
Correct.
So yeah, you need to remember those situations, because they're not very unrealistic. Like,
it is
a quarter
a greater
of your
than
games,
50% chance. Yeah.
Yeah, a quarter of your game, actually no, a third of your games, you will draw it between 3 and 6. Correct. Assuming no deck manipulation and stuff. So you have to account for that.
Yep. High Evo. A lot of the cards did get buffed that he cares about. Is that enough to make him mediocre? I'll ask you.
I think easily mediocre. I was actually questioning between mediocre and decent, but I don't think he's at that decent part yet.
I was thinking mediocre as well. I think 3/5 Cyclops and 6/14 Hulk is enough.
Yeah, I don't think there's any world you can put him in bad card. At least until like another few months of power creep happens. I think those buffs are definitely more than enough to put him in mediocre bare minimum. Decent, probably not quite yet. Maybe there's an argument that people build him wrong, but I don't know. Don't play enough of him.
How the Mighty Have Fallen, another card that could at one point have been considered the best in the game.
Oh, wow.
I hate it. I have an amazing split on her. Love the card.
Yeah.
It's mediocre.
I barely split her. I probably would have more if it didn't get...
Look, I have Gold Blue Crackle. It's a really nice split. Mediocre. And I hate it, but it's mediocre.
Remember when it was like a premier Surfer card?
Dude, I remember when I played this card with Surf. I played this card to rank 2, man. I love this card.
Whoa.
Make Hope Summers a 3/5. Please.
Yeah, it's probably not even enough, but they should.
No, at 3-5 it'll be decent, and that's enough
I
for
don't
me.
know. Elsa's a 3-5. That card's pretty
Okay,
bad.
but Elsa has the worst text box, and Elsa's
That's
honestly
true.
probably
Yeah.
going to go in bad. I'm not gonna lie, that card is terrible.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Emperor
Looks like-
Hulkling is mediocre because some 6-drops you don't really want to get right now. It is a card that is strong and decent for the 0.1% of players. I think you can
Yeah.
argue it indecent now. The problem is I don't think it's better than Gore. I don't think it's better than Aurora. I think it's on the same level as Isan.
Yeah. Once again, there it is good to mention like the cube equity, and it will. I think if we were talking in a format where everything is always open deck list, he's always indecent.
He's
But
always in
like
strong then, I think.
strong, yeah. I don't think I do strong, but that's fair. But yeah, I think there's just too much whiffs, too much stuff that you're just gonna be like, wow, I have worse Hulk. Imagine that. Just thinking, I just played a card just that was worse than the Hulk. That sucks.
I think this guy should be a 6/13, by the way. Ship it.
That's fair. I'm not. Once again, 6-drops aren't my thing, but it's probably fine.
I was so high on this card and I was wrong. I got burned.
I don't remember what I thought in this card, honestly.
I was really
It's just
high
a
on
while
this card.
ago.
I thought this card was going to be unbelievable. It turns out that in a world where Juggernaut exists and Thing First Steps exists the week after this guy, it's just bad. It's the best in bad. To be clear, this is the best in bad by probably a lot. But it's bad.
Yeah. Is it crazy to say that Bruce Banner is the next one? Like the runner-up for best
No,
in
it's
bad?
not because he is. But, yeah.
It's so strange to say, though. I feel like I have to break
I'm going to put Bob in strong.
Yeah.
I think he's the third best one in the game.
Real
Sorry,
quick, what are your
fourth-
other
fourth
two
best,
ones?
Fourth best, sorry. Nico.
What are the
is-
other one drops?
Nico is the second best. Sorry, let me restart. Agony's the best, which is a hot take in itself. Then it goes Hood, Nico, Bob.
I'd probably put Hood over Agony, but that's valid.
I think that's just
At that point, that's
semantics at this
super
point, it's
interchangeable.
semantics.
Yeah.
I think Agony's so good, but yeah.
It's insane.
Hydra Stomper is a strong card. It is not a must buy for the same reasons as Chamber and Blink.
Yeah, just I think that deck archetype is as good as people know it is. I still think it's underrated. Like just naturally being able to move your power on the final turn of the game, whether that be Hellion, Madam Web, that's just underrated in general. So
Yeah, it is not to the point of must buy. It is a strong card. It only goes in one deck, but that deck is extremely, extremely, extremely good.
yeah,
My goat. He's mediocre. I'm sorry, he's not bad. He is better than these cards, and he's better by a good bit. He is a mediocre card.
yeah. I'm not
Please
going to
make
bring
this
you
guy
down.
5'8". Please make this guy 5'8".
I'm questioning bad,
here.
but I can't convince
Yeah,
myself
he
it's
is-
bad.
he is-
It seems fine
I can
enough.
assure you, he is better than all these cards because he has legitimate decks. He is legitimate in hell. You can make a legitimate argue for him in some weird, funky builds of like V-Hand or a funky ramp deck, something like that.
Wiccan ramp, V-hand, something. I don't know.
Argument in Wiccan. But I think
Some
that this
people
card,
will, but-
he's a mediocre card. He is a
Yeah.
not great mediocre card, but he is a mediocre card. Make
Yeah, that's
him
good.
at least a 5'7", so I can put him here. Make him a 5'8", so I can put him here. IWFS.
I maybe have a hot take on this. Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah,
I don't know if this is a hot take anymore.
No, well, you're talking to number one IWFS hater right here.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, this card sucks. This card, it doesn't suck. It is a poor deck building choice because Jocasta is just 10 times better.
Yeah, that was going to be my main argument for like, oh, I was about to go on the hot take rant. I was like, oh no, he also thinks it's
Yeah,
just
this
mediocre.
card is mid.
Never mind then. But yeah, like just for context for viewers as well, Jocasta is just better. is what's holding this back. I think if Jocasta didn't exist, you could easily put Invisible and First Steps in Decent.
Mm-hmm.
But that just being the better thing
To do,
just really, just
really
being the
dive
better
into
deck,
the
better
same
option
things as well.
Mm-hmm. Like, there's just no reason to play it over Jocasta stuff, unless Super Adaptoid's meta. But like, oh no, even then, Super Adaptoid stuff.
IP is a must buy. I think this
Yeah.
is the information asymmetry card other than Arishem that is the must buy. This guy goes in like 20 different decks. He's never ever bad. You can just play him and he's good. And sometimes he instantly wins you the game with an amazing hit. This guy is great. This guy is one of the best 2-cost cards in the entire game. He has been since his release. He got a pretty significant nerf, and he was still amazing. He was the best card in the game for at least one, I would argue 2 times this year. He's amazing. Buy him.
Question. I think I'll know your answer, but just in case, do you think he needs a nerf?
No.
Okay, I agree. I think he's in a perfect spot right now.
I think this is a card that I want to be strong because he makes turn 3 one of the most important turns of the game, as opposed to like it's always 5 and 6. It changes up the gameplay pattern a lot, and I also like this card being good. I think it's a fun card to be good.
Yeah. One thing I like to do as well is I'll put it in a lane where my opponent already has a card, and then reasonably they'll contest the lane, and then I'll Green Goblin that lane. So they have one spot on turn 3. I don't need to full clog them. I just need to be like, you have one board spot here now, and I'm just going to win because I know your power output.
Please make him at 2-4 so he's amazing again. 2-3 sucks.
Remember when he was like, I didn't play Jeff era, but I know he was considered top.
He was the best
card in the game.
He was the best.
He was just best card in the game.
He was the best card in the game. From I gotta think now. His release. No, he wasn't on his release because Hitmonkey was released at a 2-0. And that card was nuts.
Oh man!
After Hitmonkey got nerfed, there was a Silky Smooth meta. He was the best card in the game then. He was the best card in the game from then until Loki. And then he was a very good card from then until really like mid 2024. When they started making good 3s. Because this is going back into a lot of stuff. This is stuff I love to talk about, all this retrospective stuff, because I've played Snap really since I've played Snap since 2022. I love talking
about context, I've only played for about a year and a half.
I love talking about the old stuff. I don't know if you are familiar with this, but because this was right around when you started playing then, I guess. Before mid 2024, there was a problem where there was a ton of good 4 costs and no good 3 costs. And then they printed Copycat, Cassandra Nova. Marvel Boy was really good at the time. They printed him. Like, Loki got reworked into another really good 3 cost. Like, they were printing.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, this is like the era where like Maximus was like 3/7, and that was considered an amazing card, right?
No.
Or is that like way earlier?
That was like when I started playing. That's way earlier. This was during the era in and around Arishem release. Like, right before Arishem release to right after the nerfs. Like, aside from that Arishem period, like, before and after, they decided to print a ton of strong 3 costs. When the 3 costs started to be printed that were, like, really strong, they started to leave 2s by the wayside. And that caused cards like Jeff to plummet. Because now there was just, like, good 3s. So you weren't doing, like, Hope Summers and playing a ton of 2s.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, because, like, I generally know a lot of the card iterations and stuff in 2023, 2022. But, like, I'm not sure, like... I don't know if Elsa was after or before Loki.
So, remember in and around, like, 3/4 through the year where everyone was mad that there was, like, 0 good 5-cost cards, and then they started, like, at the end of the year making, like, actually good 5-cost cards? And buffing the 5-cost cards so they were actually good, like War Machine, buffing Blink, Now they're releasing Shallow. Like that's the in thing for steps. You know how they're doing like they're actually looking at 5 costs now.
Yeah.
That was what was happening with 3 costs.
Got it. Okay.
That's the about equivalent I can put it to now. Jim Hammond is bad.
Is this a hot take to say he goes in that Doom 2099 tier?
Yeah, I think it's wrong. I think he's one of the better ones in bad. But
I guess I don't know.
Look, if any card is going down to trash, it's Kyera.
That's fair, yeah. Because like my thought on Jim Hammond, and you'll agree with this, but I think I'm overhating it a little bit. Is if you get your, for example, SSM into Fallen One combo, you don't need the 110 or whatever it's going to be. You're winning that game most often, assuming you like drew enough good stuff.
Yeah, but the question is 1/6. That's enough sometimes.
Yeah, I guess. I guess 1/6 is like respectable enough in those niche scenarios. I can just be bad and not as unplayable as these other ones.
This guy is decent at least now. He is a 2/3. That is good.
Yeah. Joaquin is like the card where in the back of my mind I'm always like, man, I want to play a deck with Joaquin, and then I'm just too lazy to bother to try to build with it. I think other versions
got
of
enough stuff now that he's actually decent as well.
Yeah, I think so for sure.
Joe Casta. Strong.
Yeah. No question. It's
again the same reason as Blink and Chamber and Stomper. If you want to play Activate, buy Joe Casta. If you want to play Maverick decks, buy Joe Casta. You don't need to buy Joe Casta and have it in your collection.
Yeah. Just a nice thing to own.
Is mediocre. I think it's a very...
I wish Kahori was better. It's a cool design, I think.
Put her at a 4/7 and she'll be indecent. But for right now, 4/6, no.
Yeah, just alright. Not the best.
My other goat, Kang. Love this card now. I think he's mediocre. I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's on these levels. I'd rather run Kang than any of these guys.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't think he's bad at all. I think people... I wish I felt more compelled to play him, because he definitely is fun. But I don't like the inconsistency. It's just sometimes not fun. But it is very fun when it does work out and you get...
You gotta play
I got Kang Galactus.
You gotta
get a Kang Null.
You gotta play the ultimate inconsistency deck. It's budget Airshim. You run Agamotto, Kang, you run like IU, IP, like all the cards that are just crazy.
Yeah. It's when you have Kang, Agamotto, Thanos, and then that's 25 cards. The Airshim is 24, so your opponent just thinks you're Airshim and you're not.
Khonshu takes the place that Colonel America took. The classic discard representative, indecent.
Yeah.
What this is saying is you should buy Khonshu if you like playing classic discard. If you don't, you should not buy him. This guy's strong, though.
Kinomeka is underrated. I think he's always been underrated. I think when it was like in like the pay, like the not so good era where he was whatever amounts.
Video where he said this was the best deck in the game. He was overrated. He's underrated now.
Yeah, I think since that died down, I think it's always been underrated. Like for the past however many months.
Nimrod's been an underrated deck because nobody likes playing it without doing something else because it's very boring. Mm-hmm. But yeah, those cards are strong.
Yeah,
I think we're halfway through at this point.
We're getting there.
This could be a long video. You guys are getting less when it comes to 20.
Yeah. This is part 2.
No, we're doing one video. We're doing it long. Yeah. We got a holiday break.
Yeah.
Luna. My bias says must buy.
No, I actually fully agree. I think it's a must buy.
I don't have to argue with myself.
I was going to say must buy, and I was going to see if I had to argue with you about it. You can talk first, though, because you're the ramp player.
This card is really strong because oftentimes when you are the Luna Snow deck, you have built your deck entirely around Luna Snow to the point of what you want to do is unfair, and your opponent, the one extra energy for your opponent, does not go as far as the one extra energy for you. This is a card that I think for bad players is very, very similar to Magic, where you can look at it one-sided. You can say, my deck would love to get extra cards on the board for turn 7, without acknowledging that your opponent would like to as well. That is the Luna thing. The problem is, it's a lot harder to shut off Luna than it is to shut off Magic, and it's a lot less of a risk. This card is a 3/6, so it's already one of the best statted 3 costs in the game. It rewards creative and powerful deck building synergies. Also, what it does is it is an enabler and a key enabler for one of the best deck, for what you can reasonably argue again is the best deck in the game. This is one of the best 3-cost cards in the entire game, and I think you should buy it.
Yeah, full agree. I think it should be mentioned as well. The argument for putting it in strong is those cases where your opponent can't take enough advantage out of the energy. Like if I'm playing bounce and I see a Luna Snow, I'm like, oh, thanks, I'll use that. That's great. But I think the fact that it's also just always a 3/6, that's a great stat line. I think that's what puts it in must buys. Getting better stuff, you're doing better stuff than your opponent, and you're playing probably a better statted card than them as well. Whatever their turn 3 play was.
Look, I bought the ultimate variant for this card. I play it that much. Madam Web is a strong card. Same reason as Chamber, Blink, Hydra Stomper. Any other reasons to add?
Yeah. I have slight bias that it could be must buy, but once again, probably that idea that like the better you are at the game, the more advantage you're going to take of it. But I do think, if I'm being honest, it is a strong card, not must buy.
Akari is a decent card. It goes in C3. It goes in some Prio stuff. Like if you want to run Negasonic, this is a great card to run with it. That's about it. But it is strong in those decks.
Yeah. Gets you priority. Just a thing to have. 3 power. Can't be that bad.
Malekith is a... It's bottom of strong or top of decent. Looking at the cards in strong... Looking at the cards in decent, I'm inclined to put it in decent.
Yeah, Malekith is one of the funnest cards I like deck building with. One of the things I used to do is I would have a deck with just Ajax Hazmat, and then Malekith would make it consistent enough where you never really have that Ajax that does nothing. Mm-hmm. Sadly, that's just not good enough anymore. Fun card, but yeah, I do agree it has to be decent.
All right. Man... Spider, I was so wrong on this card. There was definitely enough merging available. This card's strong.
I'm surprised people were really low on him. And I admit I was a bit lower than I should have been, but I'm surprised people were like 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10. It's like, it can't be that bad.
Well, that season was weird because I feel like everybody had a big hit and everybody had a big miss. That one. I know I hit dead on Spider-Punk, and I'm happy I did, but... Yeah, this card is strong. This card might be a problem. And I hate playing against it so much.
I also don't like it because funnily enough, whenever I'm playing like a mid-range techie interaction stuff, I don't run Shadow King as often as people think. Like my Worlds deck, a lot of people might have been really surprised to see that I did not have Shadow King. But I think I was rewarded for my Call in Red Guardian. But yeah, even if you have it, you can. It's just stupid.
It's stupid. It goes. The thing I want changed mostly is the Absorbing Man interaction, because when this guy merges into an Absorbing Man that copied his text, it doubles twice, so it quadruples. I want that changed to only a double, so when a card merges into this, double its power.
Yeah, I think you'd have to like reword the text. I don't think you can just make that a behind the scenes thing.
When a card merges into this, that's it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think that makes it a healthier strong card, and I think it's a healthier combo piece then. Because right now, you can do you play Luna Snow, then you play Man Spider. Your Man Spider's a 5/14. That's big. It's not that big, but. We'll see. What my change is if you abs mana, it's 38. And that's 38 in 2 lanes. 38 in 2 lanes is a lot easier to reasonably beat than 76 in 2 lanes. That's my problem.
Yeah, it's like the Torch problem where, yeah, the job is to win its own lane, but it does that way too convincingly.
It's the extra double. The Torch thing, the main reason why the Torch nerf was so significant is because you need to move Torch one extra time to do the role he was fulfilling before. And that's one less move you can do on a dagger. One less move you can do on a spider punk. I think if that happens, Man Spider's a nerf to still being a strong card, but no longer being annoying, and I hate playing against him card as much. I know there is some serious Man Spider haters out there.
Oh, yes.
Marvel Boy is a mediocre, honestly, a bad card. This card sucks.
Honestly can't. I don't really have a solid opinion on him. Yeah, he looks fine in bad tier, but
it doesn't go in Zoo. When this card doesn't go in Zoo, there's a problem.
Yeah, like you play sometimes in Kalia stuff. That's the only argument for mediocre, I think. But yeah, he looks fine. Bad.
All right, now this might be a hot take. This guy's must buy. I think he's strong enough in enough different things to the point where I have to put him here.
I'm inclined to agree. I'm not going to stick too hard on a strong card, but I'm going through decks in my mind and be like, yeah, he's probably a must-buy. No. But the thing is, when I got him, I just had... That was when I lost some interest in Snap, just in general for that week kind of thing. I just didn't feel like playing with Maverick. I don't know why. But that's, again, probably just biased. The meta
was at a point where it was running Super Adaptoid. That's how good this card is. I can see that.
Yeah.
You want my real hot take on this guy? This is one of the 5 best cards in the entire game.
Yeah. I was like theorizing, what are the best cards in the game? And he was easily in my top 10. I don't remember enough about my top 5 to say for sure, but he was probably close to that.
I haven't done enough mapping out to say if he's higher. But wow, is this card good? Let's go on to Merlin, who I think is also going to join Maverick.
I don't think we're going to debate that. And actually, this was the card I was talking about that will just get slightly better. Now, technically, I could be wrong if they start printing like more synergistic things that are like very bad stats, like Man Spider kind of thing. But if you think about how often, and it's not often, but like they do more just random 1-2 power buffs than they do like nerf 1 power things, right? So the more that starts to happen, and I think that's going to start happening more just in general, the better he's just going to be just because of polymorphs. And I know that sounds really insignificant, but like I can't think of specific times, but I can definitely remember times where it's like, oh wow, this buff won me the game kind of thing. It's not often, but it can happen.
I still don't know how this guy hasn't been nerfed. He's really good.
No one hates him, that's why.
Misery.
I don't hate him, but he could use a nerf.
Strong. Probably the best in strong, but strong.
Yeah. I think at 4-9 we can agree it's must-buy.
4-9 is must-buy. 5-8 is strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is no longer pretty much... It no longer has everything. Must-buy either has to have everything you want in the card for its role, or it just needs to be so clearly like the best option. Or it excels the best in its role. Too many things. Like Maverick and Luna, they excel in like 7 different decks each. And all of those decks are good. At 4-9, Misery was just crazy. At 4-8, it's just strong.
Yeah.
Bird. Mockingbird. Decent now?
Yeah, I think decent's fine. Funny thing, when I was first getting into the game, Mockingbird was one of my most hated cards ever. I forget what the meta was, if it was Arsha and Thanos or whatever.
When did you start?
But I started, so technically April, which is Baron Zemo season, more officially in the Blink season of May 2024. And I was like, I was top 100, something like that, because I grinded like crazy.
I'm pretty sure that was still in the era of 5-9 Bird.
I remember Blink Leech was sometime after that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
5/9 Bird was definitely a thing, but
that was
it was
the era of
I
5/9
hated that
Bird.
card.
5/9 Bird was terrible. I hate that card.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Yeah, and then it was like 6/10, and now it's 6/9, something along those lines.
Exactly right.
Yeah, okay.
I think 6/9 is the spot where this card will stay for a while, for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
if
think
Snap is still really kicking it by 2028, which is honestly only 2 years away at this point now, this card will go back to a 6/10. But Thanos existing
We'll
makes her really hard to keep there. Moira, hot take, strong.
I'm inclined to agree. I think people don't consider
This is why
that.
Destroy, yeah, this is why Destroy is good. Period.
Yeah, like one, it carries Destroy by quite a bit now. So like, things that carry Destroy, Deadpool. If that doesn't exist, why are you playing Destroy? You just don't have stats.
Yep.
Death, free 12 power, and honestly, not Null. I think people overrate Null a little bit. It helps when you have X23. If you have X23, Null's great because you get I get Null Deathpool, Null Death, whatever. But if you don't have X23, Null is terrible.
So the reason why I really think Moira's strong, and the reason why I think why Moira makes Destroy an actual deck, Destroy was a very linear deck. You could pretty much tell exactly what they were doing. Moira gives you the cube equity. I can't tell you how many times I've stayed into Destroy thinking, they probably got like a death, I beat a death. And then they come out on turn 6 with 4 deaths. And
12,
I'm like,
12,
what happened,
12,
man?
12.
How'd you get 4? I didn't count that many.
Yeah.
This card is strong. This card is exactly where you get your cube equity and Destroy. This is me saying if you play Destroy, you should buy Moira like right now. Yeah.
Yes. I agree for sure, I think.
Moonstone. Same reason as Blink
strong.
and Chamber and Hydra Stomper and Jocasta and Madam Web. You get it at this point.
Yeah. It just goes so big.
Morgan is a decent, I think.
It's mediocre. I don't think it can be decent anymore.
Yeah, I think
I'm looking at the decent cards. It's just not on the same level.
Yeah. It's good. It's one of the best in mediocre.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, and I think this guy suffers the same fate of mediocre. Mm-hmm. He's okay.
I wonder sometimes when he first got nerfed if people still thought he was going to be really good. I looked at that and I was like, that's just Fastos.
Yeah,
like,
so
he's obviously a little better, but like
this is probably like on the same level of Fastos, but I actually think Fastos was kind of like good at that point.
Yeah, he's alright.
I remember going on Pulse Glazer's podcast, and he said he thought Mr. Fantastic's First Steps was a top 20 card in the game post nerf, and I'm like, I don't know about that, dude.
No. Yeah, definitely not.
Definitely not at this point. And Nomura is bad. I'm sorry. I tried to deck with her. It was terrible, so she's terrible.
Yeah. For a little bit, I was kind of trying to think, do I want to do Pixie Nomura? And then I just gave up.
Nico's a must-buy. Any questions?
No. Debate top 3 1-drop. I don't think there's
top 3
too
one cost
question.
Debatably, you can debate number 1, but yeah, this card's really good. Nightmare, my goat. I love him. He's mediocre. He's not bad. He's mediocre.
I think you could put him in decent. Again, that same thing where better player is better,
us.
But
this is us thinking. This is me and you thinking as like, wow. How are we gonna surprise? How are we gonna surprise Butt on ladder? How are we gonna surprise Husky on ladder? How are we gonna surprise Cam, Roram, all those other like best players in the world? How are we gonna surprise them and win 8 off of them? Nightmares how? Infinite Galactus, but sadly, this card is mediocre. It is a lot better than it was, especially because now it has actual power. I can't call it decent.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Keep her
it's
at
Nocturne. 3-4. Don't you love Nocturne?
Keep her at 3-4. This is my least favorite card in the entire game. Penny. Penny's decent now. Penny's decent. 3-5 on the Spider. Man Spider is a card that exists now. This card is decent.
Yeah.
This card went from Doom 2099 tier to decent. I still can't believe Spider was just good. 3-3. I still can't believe that card released at 3/3.
Oh wow, it really should 3/3. That's crazy. I didn't even remember that. Strong, no question.
Must buy.
Is it must buy? Ooh. Okay.
I love this card. This card makes a ton of decks. In my opinion, he makes at least Jocasta. Likely Surfer. He makes big ongoing decks. The ones that are combo oriented. I think this guy is also underrated. Like, you know what I want to play with this guy? Blink.
Tribunal.
I want to Prodigy my Blink, and then we're really going crazy. That's what that was my Tribunal list. I Prodigied my Blink, and it was so nice.
Yeah.
This might be personal bias as well, but I love this card so much.
I think it is. I want to clear up one thing. I will definitely agree that it's underrated. I think people just, when they look at Prodigy, they're like, oh, that's a strong card, and they don't realize the stupid stuff he can do. I think part of why he goes in strong and not must buy is he's more for deck builders. I think if you're a deck builder, he appeals more to you. Most people are not that. And they're not to say that everyone's a net decker. Maybe they'll change like one card kind of thing. But I think if you're a deck builder and you build your own decks all the time, you're more likely to like him.
I think that's a fair thing. If you build your own decks, buy him. If you don't, he's just strong.
Yeah.
Proxima's mid. Any debate?
No, she's just not great.
Red Guardian.
Ooh, Red Guardian.
Decent. He's too slow now, man.
I think
Cord exists.
I think he could still go in strong.
But Cord, man. Cord costs 1.
Yeah.
It just outclasses him now.
So here's my hot take. I think Deafening Cord is one of the best cards in the game, and people just don't know it. Maybe people do. I don't know. But I think turning off text is still just good enough that he can stay in strong. Like, yeah, he's outclassed by it, but turning off text, like, he has that middle ground spot where it's like, if you don't want Cord, which isn't often, obviously, I think he's still fine enough to go in strong.
Merlin
I am fine with him in decent.
Okay, I think he's better in Merlin decks than Cord, so I can give you strong. He is still good.
Yeah, like Deafening Cord outclasses him. I'm not going to really question that too much. Like, that is just a better card. But the ability he has is still just very good. Yeah. Like, I'm fine playing both. I don't really mind playing both of them.
I think the next
up to you.
I think the next 2 cards, Red Hulk and Red Wing, I think we can both easily put these guys in mid.
Yeah.
Rocket and Groot bad.
I've tried playing around with Rocket and Groot because it's fun when it works.
3/2 sucks.
It doesn't really work that well.
3/2 sucks. On to the next one. Sage.
Also, we should clear up, it shouldn't get its point of power back.
It should be a 3/2.
Or do you think it should? Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Maybe if they made him a 4/4.
No. I mean, I don't know what to do with him. I don't like forward cost, though.
4/5,
yeah,
honestly.
It's a weird card to balance.
4/5? 1 proc, it's a 4/9.
Yep.
Sage is... sorry, I was talking about Rocket and Groot. Sage is strong.
Yeah. I think people need to experiment with Sage more in their decks. And just see, like, I need a finisher card. Just play Sage.
It's a great finisher. It's strong. It's not a must buy, though. This guy.
Oh, I know what I would do.
This guy. This freaking guy.
Yeah.
Never escapes. He's so good. If I need a 2 cost, my first thought is, something. Do I have IP? My second thought is, do I have Sam? That's all I gotta ask. Merlin takes a bit more from you. These 2 is just pop and play. It's also an excuse for me to run Prodigy. It's an excuse for me to run Captain America if I'm running ongoing decks. It's an excuse for me to run Captain Carter. It's an excuse for everything. You want to justify a card in your deck? Sam Wilson.
Yeah. There's just so much random stuff he'll do.
I think also part of this is me remembering the time where he was literally the best card in the game by a country mile. That card was so broken at 2/3. with a one power shield. Broken. I believe there will be a Snap Academy video coming out on that, either in the next 3 days or early next year. Scarlet Spider is bad. Maybe Xiao La fixes this, but he's bad.
Yeah.
And Scorn is mediocre.
Yeah, like I would like quick thing on Scarlet Spider.
Yeah.
That's another card like I kind of like to play around with sometimes. It's just not worth it.
Yeah. Omega Sentinel is a much better 4-cost activate. And Phantom X when he comes out as well, in my opinion.
We'll see,
I think he will be. Scorn is mid.
Yeah, I don't play that deck, but that seems like where it goes.
You're a Scream player. How bad does this hurt? Because I think it's absolutely correct.
No, it is absolutely correct. I want to clear up one thing. People have some illusions with Scream. If you don't draw Scream in your Scream deck, if your curve is like Polaris, Stegron, Arrow, or you just have those cards in your hand, you're just losing that game. And even if you draw Scream, you're still playing a very fair mid-range plan against what is now a lot more unfair decks. Not to mention Deafening Gore, Cosmic Ghost Rider, all that stuff. Yeah, it's very painful. Scream's not good.
I snuck a card in trash. I assume you agree.
Yeah. It's funny, but
Sable's mediocre good. Now. Honestly, I think this is one of the worst in mediocre because of how many skills you can add to your deck now. But I think it's mediocre.
I think they could easily give her the 1 power back. Maybe that is really good, but I think they can give it back.
Absolutely give her 1 power. Yeah. Sparky is decent. Post nerf, he is no longer strong. He is decent.
Yeah. Goes and move. No really other iterations. The thing with Aranya is you can put it in other decks. Sparky does not go in other decks.
Speed is strong. Actually,
I don't know what it is with speed. I think decent fits better. I don't know why. I've always looked at speed and been like, this just doesn't seem amazing.
He's like a
he's fine.
He's a 3/8 in his decks. That's good.
Yeah.
Like that's just good. It's top of decent or bottom of strong. I think with the power creep we have to say top of decent.
Yeah, I agree.
This is a guy people should play around more with. Buffed Noir is very good. This card is very powerful. You should play with this card more because this card has a lot. It is not as high of a deck building cost as it once was for a very powerful effect.
Fully agree. I haven't experimented with him a ton, but he's good for sure.
I think he is the card that subsidizes a lot of tech packages as well that people want to run. Especially with Xiao Lao coming out. Xiao Lao Noir will be very good. Punk is strong.
Just strong.
The most 8 out of 10 card ever.
I think he's slightly over it still, but I do think he's easily strong. I think people need to experiment with more with just like a Madam Web Spider Punk kind of package. For those who don't know, if you move Spider-Bug out of the Madam Web lane, that doesn't use up his move anymore. So you move him out, he triggers. You can still move him back in the Madam Web lane and then move him out on 6 for a total of 3 triggers just with that 2-card package.
And that is a 315, by the way.
Yeah, you're likely to play other things that support with like moving and stuff, but I think he should be experimented with more, as much as I do think he is still slightly overrated, but he is still very strong.
Now, Starbrand. He has to go in decent. He is no longer strong because Sauron is no longer a real, consistent metagame force.
Yeah, I think if it weren't for Starbrand, Sauron is just unplayable. I don't think there's too much question about that. Starbrand is the reason to play that deck of 310. There's nothing else that really rivals that at 3 cost. Just slam 310.
Look, man, until Fastball Special gets nerfed, I can't put Stardust anywhere but strong.
I don't know enough to say that, but
Nimrod is one of the best decks in the game. Surfer with Brood is one of the best decks in the game. I think there's enough. There, Stardust gets legitimate value.
Yeah.
And
I'm probably biased against it, but
I also don't like this card until they nerf Nimrod and until they nerf that style, those types of decks that are really like scaling, like Maverick Surfer and Nimrod and all that stuff. I can't put this card anywhere but strong.
yeah, and there's just enough incidental stuff it'll hit. There's not a lot of Hella, but it'll kill that deck. For anyone trying to play around with like Ultron or something, you just die. It hits enough mediocre stuff that I think is good.
Let's actually get the bad cards out of the way now. Strain Supreme, Surtur, Symbiote Spider-Man, Warlock, Zorn.
I would put Warlock in mediocre. Maybe you talk about that later.
Zombie Captain Marvel.
Yep.
And in the trash tier is Thaddeus Ross. Is there any objections to... Oh, sorry, White Widow also goes in trash. Any objections to any of this? I think
Only
all of these cards are above bad.
I agree with that. Only objection I instantly have is Warlock, I think, could go in mediocre. I just think people... It's the card that you need to deck build with. You're never really going to just probably be able to net deck, oh, Warlock is an instant included kind of thing in this. But I think there's just not enough people that are willing to deck build with it. And yeah, again, it will reward better players kind of thing. But I think if you have the right deck for it, like the Pixie Chef, War Machine...
Question with that deck and all other decks, why am I not playing Mr. Negative?
Because Mr. Negative's lame.
No, Mr. Negative's awesome. I think that this card is just too slow at 3 cost. And I think he will be bad for as long as he is an understated 3 cost card. You can either make him a 3/5, you can make him a 2/1. You can pick one of those. That's it.
I could see that. Yeah, everything else seems correct to me.
Okay.
I would honestly consider maybe a bit of a hot take. I'd consider Zombie Captain Marvel for trash. I don't know if that's too bad, but
there's enough compelling stuff with her that I put her on the level of like a Warlock and a Surtur and a Zorn, where it's like you're not instantly throwing.
Yeah.
But you're probably throwing.
you probably shouldn't be doing.
Now, mediocre. I am thinking mediocre cards from this is Thanos, is Toxin, is Viv Vision, is Wiccan. That's a hot take, I think. Is Zombie Galacti, is Zombie Mr. Fantastic, is U.S. Agent.
I was going to say, don't tell me you're putting U.S. Agent higher than mediocre.
No, he's mediocre.
As much as you love that card.
He's underplayed right now. I'll say that firmly. He's underplayed.
Sure.
But
sure. Only thought here. I want to comment on Wiccan for a little bit. I do definitely think he's mediocre for sure. The reason Wiccan can sometimes see a lot of play is it's just simple, and this is a toilet game for a lot of people. So Wiccan is like a go-to for that kind of thing. And like maybe a hot take, I think Wiccan is very lame. Like, I've played many games where it's just like I see a Quicksilver on one, I'm able to perfectly call out every turn from then on. It's like, whoa, that was fun. But yeah, I do agree Wiccan's mediocre. Only thing I would change, I think Thanos is builds itself enough to go into decent, right? You don't instantly know what you're going up against, I think is valuable as well. Like, if you...
I guess my problem with Thanos is that Aurora is better outside of Thanos, and if Aurora, the card that literally says play me with Thanos, is better outside of Thanos than inside of Thanos, I think Thanos has to be mediocre.
Yeah. I can see that Aurora's better than Thanos, but I think part of the advantage of Thanos is there's enough different decks it can go in and you can build with it. Like, if you look at all these...
It's too inconsistent for me. It's way too inconsistent. It's like Agamotto with less high roll.
Yeah.
Agamotto's high roll is win.
I just don't... So I think it's the top mediocre. I'm fine with leaving it in mediocre. It's when I'm looking at all these other cards like Hope Summers and Scream, I just feel like it's better enough.
Man, I think it fits right in.
Yeah. It's okay in mediocre. I'm not like, no, it has to be decent kind of thing. It's not really that good compared to a year ago, for example. But
Okay. Decent
yeah,
cards here. My take is Surge is decent. Athena is decent. Weapon H is decent. That's my three. I think all of these cards are, and Superior Spider-Man as well. I think he is also decent.
Surge. Actually, I don't know if you meant that for a hot take. I think Surge is definitely decent. I think
Yeah,
it's
but a
completely
little bit.
fine.
I know some people still think he's strong.
He's 2-1 is a
Two
big
one
deal.
sucks. But the effect is good.
Yeah.
So we're fine with these four? I think
Part of me
Superior
wants
Spider-Man,
to
by the
say
way, is probably the best card in this tier. But
yeah, part of me did want to say he is strong, but scroll up to the strong cards for a moment.
these guys are better.
Yeah, like I think I'm fine with him in decent. Like the more I look at the strong cards
Yeah.
and see, like, oh wow, like they hit you with something different than Superior Spider-Man does.
Strong cards are the Thing First Steps and War Machine. Which means I think Victoria Hand and Zombie Scarlet Witch are both must. Or I'm actually gonna put ZSW in there as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
I think there's enough things that beat zombies, mainly SK, Jang, deafening cord on her. That it's only strong, and I think we can both agree that Victoria Hand is a must buy.
No question. Built has its own archetype and is probably still like I would say top 5 archetype in the game, but I think it's definitely a little more in the air than it was before.
Okay.
Real quick, I want to
Cool.
mention Think First Steps.
Yep.
I used to underrate that card a little bit, I think, but part of why I think it's better than I originally thought is you can't really do much to stop it. It's like turning off its text is probably never happening unless you let yourself get Cosmic Ghost Rider. That's just not very realistic, though. And you can't really Shang it. Shadow King does nothing to it. The way you stop it is by stopping the lane fill, but that's not really that easy for a lot of decks. So I think I'm
Especially
like, if
because
this
they're
was a
often
few months
sand
ago, I would have
decks.
said decent. I think I do agree with strong now, though.
All right, this is our tier list. We are both very good players at this game. Series 5 is a lot. This video is the longest non-podcast video on my channel by a lot. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you want more tier list content. But this is our ranking of every Series 5 card in the game. And our must-buys are Irisham, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Frigga, Iron Patriot, Luna Snow, Maverick, Merlin, Nico Minoru, Sam Wilson, and Victoria Hand. That is going to be it. Make sure to check this guy out. If you see his name on a YouTube thing or you see him streaming on Twitch sometimes, which is very sparingly, make sure to check him out. It's awesome. He builds a lot of tech decks. And that is it for me. And I will see you all next time.